Hi, this is Prerna Lidhu from Business Today Television, and today I am in Chakan at Mercedes-Benz Chakan facility. It's an amazing space, and this is where all the magic happens. And I am here to meet with Mr. Santosh Iyer, who is MD and CEO of the India facility, Mercedes-Benz India, and I'm sure this will be a delightful conversation.
Thanks, Prerna, for joining us. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. It's been an amazing launch and so much excitement about the EV industry. And you, for one, as being a luxury player in the EV space, are trying to develop an ecosystem around EV.
Yeah.
So tell me more. We'll talk about the car and the launch and the excitement around it. But tell me a bit more about the ecosystem that you're trying to develop. You've given 10 years of warranty, which is like an industry first in the luxury segment in India. So how did that happen? What is the kind of ecosystem that you're trying to build around the launch?
Yeah, I think when you talk about EV and when I talk to a lot of customers, they all keep saying, Santosh, my next car is an EV. So I like that statement, thinking that the future there will be a lot of EVs, but I also sometimes don't like the statement because I ask them, why is your current car not an EV? And then they sometimes attribute to charging. And I think many of them also relate EVs to their phones and laptops, and they feel maybe the battery life will go down, whether I get a resale value of the car, and how do I charge? So when we were looking at the EQE launch, we said first is let's mitigate the charging concern. So we have our own ecosystem of super fast chargers. Now we have opened up even to other brands, because I think for EV you need the entire ecosystem to grow and not just us, and therefore that's the one big step. Second, we also have a collaboration with with aggregators. So our customers have access to more than 200 I would say fast chargers or superchargers across India, and that mitigates intercity travel concern. But then I come to that question of residual value, life of the battery, and this is where we not only have given a 10-year warranty of the battery on this car, which means the customer can use, and this 10 years is up to 250,000 kilometers, and that's a lot, which hopefully not many in India will use. But this also means the car's life extends beyond 15 years, 20 years. So it's like any other car that they own. And on the residual value side, we said we give the same guarantee for an EV as compared to a combustion engine. So if the GLE, which is the combustion engine car equivalent to an EQE, has an X amount of percentage value at the end of 5 years, say 50%, we give the same 50% value even for a electric. So these are things to mitigate the customer concern and try to grow the ecosystem. Also, we are doing a lot when it comes to training. Chauffeur training, they have this anxiety, and I have been using my EQS. It has a range of 700 plus kilometers, but my chauffeur, sometimes I drive on weekends and on weekdays I have a driver, and he says even at a 60% charge, sometimes he says, let me go and charge it. And I said, why? The car can go 400 kilometers. Then he feels, yeah, that's true. But they are all used to charging phones, charging laptops, or charging something else. And therefore, I think we have to educate them. Give them that confidence that EVs are as good and as practical like any other car. So a lot of work happening in the ecosystem, and the EQE launch, apart from the product, I think we have worked on all of this factor to make it much more long term, much more sustainable.
As someone who has driven done the transition very successfully, tell our viewers that how was the transition, how difficult was the transition from an IC engine to EV for you, and what, like you said, that there's range anxiety, there are other things. What would you like to say for a luxury car buyer today? Like you said, that why do you not have an EV today? So that's an important question and a pertinent question for a market leader like you. So how was the the transition, the behavior change for you like?
So I think we still have a long way to go. To be very candid, today 4 to 5% of our sales are EVs. So we still have a long way to go. We need the customer to slowly evolve and adapt. So we should not push in here. It is driven, as I said, by products, by the ecosystem, by the nature and the behavior, and also with new technologies. One of the biggest assets we have in our cars is range. That takes away a lot of anxiety on this charging topic itself. But we have to give the time, and therefore we are pragmatic. We are looking at this with a minimum 3 to 4 year horizon, where maybe 20-25% of our sales will happen via EVs. So there is no rush. Also to our dealer network, to our partner network, we keep telling them, let's educate customers, let them use them. So unlike a normal car launch where we would have actually did the bookings open 10 days back, got lot of bookings, here we said we will announce the car price and launch today. And then we are doing a drive. We are also giving these demos to customers. Let them experience, let them get convinced. Also, this is reflected in product also, because this car today we loaded with everything that's possible, you know, and hyper screen, digital lights, airmatic, and the works. And this is also because customers, at least Mercedes-Benz customers, they want a fully loaded car when it comes to EVs. They are those trendsetters in society, and therefore we said, let's load these cars, load the full equipment, and let them enjoy the full ownership experience when you buy into an EV. So it's a long haul. We have to be pragmatic. We have to be on it. But as I said, during my presentation, when I launched the EQC in January 2020, that was the first luxury EV in India. The media asked me, why are you launching an EV? Why EV? Is India ready for EV? Today, I don't get that question at least. Everybody says, yeah, India is there. Then we localized the EQS, I think last year. I think that's been quite successful. So it's a matter of time. We have to be patient, not run after, just the volume, but also do a responsible ecosystem growth by charging, by education, by building technicians who can repair these EVs, who can do problem solving. I think it's a matter of time the industry will shift to EVs.
Yeah, that was a very good point. What is going to be your localization and penetration strategy? Because for Indians, even if in the class that you target, there is value for money, cost consciousness, and obviously localization for a product like this would help. So is there a strategy on that front as well?
See, localization has the advantage on cost, no doubt. But if you look at the pricing that we have done for the EQE SUV, it's a 1.39 lakh crore ex-showroom. Now, when I look at the GLE 400, the sibling, that is around 1.08 crores. The on-road price is 1.3. So, technically, the price delta between an EV and a combustion engine is hardly 10 lakhs on-road, because most of the cities like Bombay, Delhi, they all offer no registration tax on green number plates. So I think consumers who are ready to take the step, I think we have managed the pricing quite aggressively even on EVs, so that it's an introductory price as we mentioned, but I think that should mitigate their concern whether it's a locally produced one or it's a CBU, and we are able to manage such pricing for such good products.
Any targets that you have in terms of fuel mix for the next few years, and how aggressively are you going towards getting more EVs to the market? I'm sure you've announced it, but can you, for our viewers, once again mention what are the targets that you've mentioned?
Well, when it comes to fuel mix, let me talk about combustion engines first. We are one of the few brands who have the portfolio with diesels, clean diesels, BS6, even phase 2. Also very good gasoline, which can also be ethanol ready. You know, our cars are all E10, E20 ready, many of them. So we can use blended fuels in gasoline, and we have clean diesels. This gives the customer an option to choose from. Diesels are 10-15% more expensive compared to petrol, but still we have a large number of customers opting for diesel, considering the torquiness, I would say low consumption, better economy, and that continues. Now we have the EV, which is the third element in the powertrain mix, which, as I said, is 4 to 5%. For us, in the next 3 to 4 years' time, we see EVs to be close to 25% of our mix. That leaves the balance 75. In the balance 75, the current mix ratios is 50-50 between diesel and petrol. Hopefully that continues. If not, we see an increased sensitivity towards diesel. You know, people think it's not right as a fuel, but I tend to personally disagree, because diesels have no CO2 emissions compared to gasoline. So, it's a mix that's important, but we leave it to the customer. We can change our production, we can change our planning based on customer requirements, and if they go all in on petrol, we can go all in there, we can go all in on EV. Luckily, as Mercedes-Benz, we have the full portfolio for us, and the customer can decide and select what they want to drive.
And also the festive season is coming up. People are gearing up for their new purchases, maybe EVs, maybe not. We do not know for sure at this point. And I'm sure the ecosystem is developing with players like you, becoming very aggressive into the market. So what are some of the expectations as compared to the last year when it comes to the festive season this year?
Well, the good part this year, thankfully, the festive season is spread over 4 months. Started in August in the south, then in September in west, and maybe October is Dussehra, Diwali, November. So at least it's spread out, which helps us to also balance out our production and also cater to the demand in the market. But last year was a record for us. We had the best ever year. This year again, we feel we will have a double-digit growth even in the festive period, and that should help us for an overall best ever year for this year. So we are fully geared up. We have new car lines, we have new products. Of course, some of them are in the waiting period, so even if they book now, they may get next year. But customers are getting very mature. Many of them have already booked the cars in July, August, so that they get deliveries in October and November. Now it's up to us and our production colleagues to really match to that demand and try to cater to the market expectation. So we are working on it as one team. As I said, double-digit growth compared to the last year's high. I think that should be a very good growth for us this year as well.
But have the supply side issues subsided?
This is a new world. To say that issues are gone away will be unrealistic. The nature of the problem is different. It used to be semiconductors, but now we have still challenges in terms of availability, logistics, delays. That's not gone away, and we have to review every week almost. So, but yes, I think we have a very capable team in Mercedes-Benz India. We work closely and we are trying to max out what is best possible.
Yeah. So leave our viewers with, as you might be very well aware of how a lot of EV players are getting into this space, luxury EV, and luxury industry is sort of very well poised to grow when it comes to EVs, because still affordability, like I said, is a factor. So how will you maintain your competitive edge? You're the market leader. Give me some strategies, like in brief, if you can, briefly explain your competitive edge and strategy going forward.
It's a single point thing. For us, the single strategy is customer experience. I think as a luxury brand, we are exited the volume topic. We are no longer as obsessed with market shares and topic. For us, we want to be number one in customer experience, period. When it comes to sales, when it comes to service, we have a very different advantage because we are the only brand doing direct to consumer retail. We are transparent when it comes to sales processes. On the customer service side, we still have some work to do. There are challenges on the people side, on how do we develop a culture of luxury there. And I think there's a lot of work to do, not some work to do. And me and my team are fully committed. I think we would be like to be known as the best when it comes to customer experience. Volume is an outcome of what we do. I keep quoting the luxury, the famous Coco Chanel, luxury starts where necessity ends. We need to be there when that necessity has ended and the customer wants to indulge in themselves, in her own self or his own self. And for that, they want to go with a brand which offers the best experience, the best product. And that's where we want to be there. So a single line brief, take care of the customer, rest everything can follow.
Are there any broader trends this year for the next couple of years that you want to leave us with in terms of the changing customer behavior and how they are reacting to the market?
I think with the changing infrastructure, thanks to the good roads coming up in India, there is a lot of intercity travel which has increased. Our customers and therefore are preferring luxury cars, Mercedes-Benz cars, which are more safer. The demographic change also with women buying cars, we are seeing a good shift happening even on a lot of women buying Mercedes-Benz cars. And I think these are factors which in the long run gives us a lot of hope about luxury further growing in this market. Also, when I look at my top end segment, which for us 25% of our sales comes in the top end segment, more than 1 crore and plus, even that's growing much more than the total market, which again says that the structure of the market is more mature. People want to buy Mercedes-Benz cars, Maybachs, AMGs, and I think that again shows the growing maturity of the luxury car market and for Mercedes-Benz as well. So we are optimistic with this. We hope this growth continues. Infrastructure is growing, so I think it should be a good run for us in India.
Great. On that optimistic note, great. It was great having you with us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot for joining.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.